it's the day of the greatest aerial adventure in history. Crowds are gathering here at Lakehurst, New York to take a last-minute glimpse of the beautiful Graf Zeppelin. And they're here to watch the departure of her flight around the world. The band is playing out a stirring farewell.
sad day because you're not near. It's so long since you're away. How can you stay so far away so long?
Graf would appreciate weather reports for vicinity of 40 degrees 12 northwest, 60 degrees 53 west, 720 miles east of New York. No fog. All is well. Over. Graf, here is the weather report. Clouds and showers west, wind moving to the northwest. We wish you a good journey and good luck. Over.
After 2 days flying above the Atlantic, at 5:40 in the morning, Captain Lehman comes around calling out, "Land! Land!" The men on the bridge are wildly excited, which brings us all out in greatest haste to see it.
Yes, dear listeners, so far the passengers have not experienced the slightest thrill. They tackled their meals with good appetites. Carl von Wiegand, correspondent on board, said in his dispatch that crossing the Atlantic from New York to Land's End took the ship 44 hours with an average speed of 75 miles an hour. If the Zeppelin is able to maintain this speed, she will arrive at a fully booked and crowded Friedrichshafen by early afternoon.
We're flying over the remains of the war, where our compatriots lie buried, having died in the mass slaughter of a heroic struggle. World leaders are still talking about the German reparations that are to last for the next 59 years, until 1989.
We fly over Ypres and Verdun. German crew members drop a wreath for their fallen compatriots. The water of the Bodensee and the small town of Friedrichshafen lie in the distance on the horizon. The Zeppelin is Germany's national showpiece, says Captain Lehman. The money to build it was raised by the German people. The airship is a symbol of national unity. This is their airship, he says. Their Zeppelin has come home. The original plan was to fly from Friedrichshafen to Friedrichshafen. Germany has no more money to spend, so Hearst pays. He owns the journey and flies from New York to New York. The morning of our departure, there is a complete fuss about Commander Eckner. In a talk he gave, he said that the Graf Zeppelin is actually out of date, but that Germany is working on a technically more advanced airship. Some of the passengers are highly agitated. No wonder. The most dangerous stage lies ahead of us. We're not referring to Berlin or the plains of Poland, but to the vast, desolate expanse of Russia and Siberia. We have fuel for 150 hours to get us across 11,000 kilometers. One of the passengers gives a radio interview full of self-importance. I must be very careful in view of the pledge of silence expected from me. I want to consult some fellow lawyers before I say anything. Eckner addresses us. He is honest and direct. He has spoken to Stalin's staff. Russia has opened her gates so that we may fly over her vastness. This is an expedition. Eckner will give his life for our safety. Now we're heading for Berlin. Everybody is happy to be on the move again and eager to see Berlin.
In the last hour, the city has become thronged with people. The traffic is chaotic. Businesses have shut down for the day. People are standing on every flat roof.
just passed the Polish frontier, 15th of August.
This unprecedented air cruise, as planned by the Hearst newspapers, has greatly impressed the Japanese. Japan will never forget that moment when this wonderful airship appeared in the blue sky above. The Zeppelin has flown 6,600 miles in a record time of 102 hours and has arrived in Tokyo 22 hours earlier than expected.
This brilliant success of Germanic science and energy has shortened the distance between the East and West to an extent hitherto unimagined. It will have a tremendous effect on the development of German air traffic, with, we hope, great strengthening of German-Japanese friendship.
Tokyo, 19th of August. A continuous round of parties, receptions, and interviews. Hearst has instructed me to give as many interviews as possible. Everywhere he goes, Eckner receives a hero's welcome. Downstairs in the hotel lobby, the official festivities continue undiminished. The banquet, the ball, the garden party. Carl has excused himself. He's too tired after the journey. The hotel is exquisite, just like a temple. After the hell of Siberia, this is a fairy tale. The garden is full of flowers and ponds full of goldfish. It's warm, thank heaven. I'm feeling so starved of warmth. I can't take my eyes off the geishas in the hotel. The little girls who serve us, so delicate and refined. Next to them, I feel so clumsy. Carl comes to my door. He's wearing a light, white linen suit and looks very handsome. He takes me by the arm. We sneak out of the hotel. As we wander through the streets, we talk about no matter what. I feel a lot more myself again. The warmth of the day has receded. The air is soft and sultry. I have put on my Eastern nightdress of black silk, embroidered with fierce green-eyed dragons, with slippers to match. Carl stands before me. We say nothing. I hesitate a moment, then take his hand. His fingers entwine gratefully with mine. Hurst has sent me a warm, fatherly message.
Graf will appreciate weather report en route for 150 degrees east, 54 degrees north. Over.
Graf, here is the weather report. Clouds and showers. Very strong wind west, moving to the northwest. Devastating storm expected. And typhoon. Try to return to Japan. Over.
Thank you for your help. We cannot turn around. The wind is sucking us in. There is no way back. May God help us to get through.
That a tragedy has taken place. It appears that the Graf may be lost. As far as is known, the airship ran into a storm. Since that moment, radio contact has been broken.
The Graf appears to have disappeared in a storm above the Pacific.
All the way down.
No one knows if those on board are still alive. Search operations from Japan and America are underway. We can only pray for the lives of Commander Eckner, his passengers, and
an airship by all odds. The Graf Zeppelin has flown over us, the Edward Luckenbach, 13 miles from Point Sur, Monterey County at 8:40 p.m.
The drawing room has changed into a newsroom. We bring the good news. We are back and we have survived.
Here is Radio San Francisco. The Graf Zeppelin has been found again after being missing for 2 days and is now flying over our city. The Graf has managed to cross the Great Pacific Ocean.
We are in radio contact with the Graf. We hear that after a good rest, Eckner has come out of his cabin to fly the airship over New York. The old man is back in front.
After sending my last dispatches to the newsroom, I get an enthusiastic message back from Hearst. You better prepare yourself, girl, for a splendid reception in New York. Gosh.
What a glorious moment. The airship salutes our Statue of Liberty.
We have all gathered in the wheelhouse. It's a breathtaking and solemn moment. We are silent and moved.
Yes, people, 5,000 men, women, and children are sitting on newspapers in the park. The streets are packed. All available parking places have been taken. Deafening cheers rise up when the Zeppelin appears on the horizon. But when the airship flies over, the thousands standing to watch are silent. Drivers are breaking all the rules, putting the brakes on and climbing onto the roofs of their automobiles. The police are trying to keep everything under control. They issue warnings and blow their whistles, but no one pays any attention. Pretty soon, the officers give up, shrug their shoulders, and turn their eyes up to the sky to join the watchers. Yes, people, New York has gone crazy.
Well, here we are, right at the official stand. Within a few moments, the Graf Zeppelin will be back home.
Leeds, Wilkins, and Lehman are the first to disembark. They are given a hero's welcome.
Here we are now in front of City Hall, waiting for the parade to start. and millions of people are waiting